friends, it's Em and welcome back to another video. Today we are setting up my March reading journal and we are doing a bread theme with stickers from Marigo Nasuli, and I'm gonna need to carbo load because I have a marathon's worth of books on my TBR. I have, oh golly, I think it's 18 books. It could be 15, maybe it's 15, but that's still a lot of books on my TBR. Let me know in the comments what books are on your TBR and if we have any in common. Now, let's jump into it. The first book on my TBR for March is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. I have read some of their previous books and wasn't a huge fan, but this is for my 12 Friends, 12 Recs, and multiple people recommended it to me, so I'm going to give them another chance. This is sort of pitched as a historian sent back in time to ensure that history plays out how it's supposed to. And so it's like a male historian and a lady knight, and I'm excited about that. I'm going in blind to most of these books because that's just sort of how I do. Another sort of fantasy vibe. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be the Village Library Demon Hunting Society. I was recommended this for another video that's coming out hopefully soon. We'll see. And it sounds kind of kitschy, where it's like a librarian who has a knack for solving murders, and they think that there's something supernatural afoot in their town. I'm hoping that it's very much like the Sangu Mandana books and very cozy. That's the vibes that I'm wanting to cultivate for March. Though admittedly, I do also have a lot of thrillers and smut in there too. So I have no idea what that means. Then we have No Matter What by Cara Bastone. I think that this was on my TBR last month. I didn't get to it, and it's on it now this month. This I've read the first chapter of because it was in the back of Promise Me Sunshine, and it's like a soon-to-be divorced couple marriage in crisis. I know in my heart that like everything's gonna be fine, but I have seen how interesting it is in terms of like the two sides of the story being told within the same chapter with different fonts and stuff like that. So I am very excited as to how this is going to turn out. I was hoping to get to listen to it on audio, but I am going to have to do this one with my eyes. And of course, I have another cozy fantasy just sort of lying around. Magic and Mischief at the Wayside Hotel by Elizabeth Everett. My friend Danielle is obsessed with Elizabeth Everett. I have not read anything by her, but this is a cozy fantasy, a magical hotel. I'm hoping for good vibes. I'm hoping that it's like really, really cozy. Cozy's just the word of the day, honestly. Then we have The First Step, which is a book about martial arts, demonic beasts, and the very real possibility of reaching immortality. Like, oh, I'm so excited. I hope that the action sequences in this are written really well. Sometimes it feels a little bit like Ken dolls kind of fighting each other, but so when it's really good, it's really, really good. So I'm optimistic. I'm hoping that this is good. This is an indie being republished by Berkeley, so fingers crossed. I'm also excited, like literally so excited to read The Fortune Flip by Lauren Kung Jessen. I've loved her other books. They are so comfy in terms of romance, and I think that this is going to be like a just her luck, just in luck. I can't remember that Lindsay Lohan movie where they swap luck. But with, Lauren's sort of twist of just making everything really cozy and wonderful, and probably has really good food in it too. And it's exciting. It's so exciting. I'm also And still in the sort of vein of romances, we've got a slew of them coming up. We have The Bridge Back to You by Rhys M. Nielsen, who wrote A Love Like the Sun. And this is going to be a chef romance. I'm so excited. So she's a chef. He is like, his mom owns a restaurant. And I love books about food. They make me hungry. They make me happy. And I really hope that this one nails it. There's also A Little Buzzed, which I believe is a debut. And this is about an engineer at a sex toy company who sort of has like sex toy lessons with someone else at the company. So it's a workplace romance. It's bound to be super steamy. And it's just been sort of hyped up to me. And I'm really excited to read it. I also have on this list The Experimento, which I think might also be a debut, potentially. Don't quote me on that. But this is about a woman who enlists the help of her favorite musician to win her ex-boyfriend back. Like, what a freaking premise. Also, it's set in Venezuela, which is awesome. Like, I in my head, I call them like destination romances if they're set somewhere other than like the US. And they are gonna look at sort of these like experiments, which I don't know. I have a scientific mind. I love when there's experiments and plans. And of course, when those plans go horrifically romantically wrong. And as a self-proclaimed Schwablin, V.E. Schwab and Kat Clark are coming out with a book under the pseudonym Evelyn Clark called The Ending Writes Itself. I'm just going to read the blurb because the blurb says it all. 6 authors, 1 private island, 72 hours to write the ending that will change their lives. Like, come on! I believe that this is going to be a play on And Then There Were None, so this will work for Bookopoly. I love a thriller. I love a murder mystery, sort of locked door vibe. And I love the mysteries focused on writers because I feel like sometimes they can psych themselves out in brand new ways that I've never even thought about. And I cannot wait. I have this on audio, and I'm chomping at the bit for this one. Additionally, Taylor Adams has a new book coming out, and they usually sort of land with a really close in between thriller and horror for me. It depends on the book. I loved their last book, The Last Word, which I read from them. I didn't love Hairpin Bridge as much, and then No Exit, obsessed, completely obsessed. I cannot go into a visitor center without thinking of No Exit. So, this book, it's about 2 friends who go on a caving expedition and the dark truth of what happens deep underground. I feel so much like it's going to be claustrophobia vibes. I think that there's going to be really creepy, scary things that go bump in the night. This might be a freezer book, right? One where it's so scary or terrifying that you have to put it in the freezer so it can chill out. I honestly don't know, but I am anticipating. I'm also trying, at least I feel like I'm trying, to read my physical TBR. I'm always reading my NetGalley TBR, and I'm sort of whittling away at some of my audios. But one physical book on my shelf that I have not gotten to yet is called Party of Liars. And this is a sweet 16 that turns deadly. And it's supposedly a fresh take on the classic locked room whodunit. I will be the judge of that. But, teenage girls are vicious. So, I don't disbelieve that something is going to go horribly, horribly wrong. And, you know, what's the worst that could happen? Right? There's a lot of really bad things that could happen. I'm also going to be starting the sequel, the second book in the Crucible series. The first book was The Games Gods Play. The second is The Things Gods Break. And I will be honest, I was tempted by the sprayed edges on this one. I have the first one with the sprayed edges, and now I have the second one. I couldn't remember if I liked the first one or not, so I went back and read my review, and in my review I said, I will read every book in this series, so I guess I need to read this book. I don't want to spoil too much about what happened in the previous book, but this is about Greek gods and their chosen champions, and there will absolutely, hands down, be sex scenes with Hades. It's just how it goes in this book. Well, and you know, yeah. I've also heard such great things about This Book Made Me Think of You by Libby Page. It meets some prompts for the BuzzFeed readathon, and you know, I think it's going to be very uplit, romancy, but it does also touch on grief. So I'm kind of a sucker for that. I like it. I like it when it does multiple things at once and does all of them well. Okay. And finally, 12 books, 12 friends. I am reading Thrown for a Loop by Serena Bowen, which was recommended to me by my friend Carson. And you know what we're talking about? We're talking ice skater, hockey player. Those are the vibes. She also has a new book coming out in June. That's the second one in this series that is called Big Stick Energy. And I need to read this one to see if I want to read the next one. I've read Serena Bowen's thriller, and it wasn't like my scene, but I did like her writing. So I'm hoping that I like this one too. Plus, hockey romance. I love a hockey romance. I love a sports romance. That's also a Bookopoly category, so this will check that box. And that's sort of where we're at. I have a lot of books to read. I have no idea how I'm going to be able to do this. I do have a Storygraph challenge where I just have put all of my TBRs in there, which has actually been kind of useful. And so, you know, you can do the same thing, or you can play along with me. I think that could be fun. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. And as always, happy planning.